So, what is servant leadership? What is servant leadership? For me and you who are believers in Christ, the first thing that comes to mind is possibly the Last Supper. We read that after supper, Jesus stood up from the table, removed his robe, wrapped himself with a towel, and began to wash the disciples' feet. So the image in our minds when we hear servant leadership sometimes is the image of a servant. However, today I want to go beyond the image of a servant because we are talking about servant leadership. How do we lead in a way that serves others? So why servant leadership? I'll share 3 things why servant leadership is important for our context today. Number 1, YFC is a movement. It is a movement that reaches out to young people in every people group, in every nation, right? And so reaching young people means that we move out of our comfort zones and we put ourselves at a place of serving others. That is a distinctive nature of YFC as a movement. Secondly, why servant leadership? Servant leadership because servant leadership focuses on others, not on me, not on you, but on those that we lead. The philosophy of servant leadership is towards others. So what are their goals? What are their dreams? How best can we help them succeed? All those are aspects of servant leadership. Finally, servant leadership has been proven to increase influence and impact in organizations. Now, we have, I'll mention 2. One is Starbucks. Starbucks is a coffee house based in the US. Studies have shown that servant leadership is a key leadership style that is used at Starbucks, and the same for Southwest Airlines, an international American airline. Now, I share these 2 stories because for me they show servant leadership not in the context of a Christian workplace, but in a for-profit making organization that is choosing to embark on serving others as its strategy. And so coming back to us as a Christian organization, I believe that applying servant leadership will take us even further. And so in the small conference, we're talking about more impact. I propose that servant leadership is one of the ways, a key leadership style that we can use to have more impact in our spaces, in our countries, in our communities. So how do we practice this servant leadership? I want to share 7 leadership behaviors. Now, keyword is behaviors because that means it is just how you and I will behave. So you don't have to go anywhere to learn it. You don't have to go anywhere to buy it and own it. It is a behavior that you and I can practice every single day. Behavior number 1 of servant leaders, conceptualization. Conceptualization basically means that you have ability to see the big picture. And when you are faced with a problem, you are able to incorporate different facets. You can handle it because you are aware of the bigger picture. Now imagine with me that you're completing a puzzle and then you're remaining with this one piece that connects everything together. Conceptualization basically means you can see the big picture. You know the vision, the mission, the goals. And so even when you're problem solving, you are bearing in mind the bigger picture. You are not short-sighted, so to speak, on what is presenting yourself only at that moment in time. Conceptualization. Secondly, emotional healing. Emotional healing basically means you are a leader who provides space that people can be heard, can be understood, feel valued, feel that you are approachable. Emotional healing means that you are sensitive also to the concerns of others. Are you a leader who provides emotional healing? Number 3 behavior is behaving ethically. Behaving ethically. Simply said, behaving ethically, doing the right thing at the right time. It means that you are fair, you're honest and just in all your dealings. And therefore, when people come to you, they know that you will be on the right, You do not have double standards. Behaving ethically as a behavior of servant leadership. Number 4 is putting followers first. putting followers first. In the example I mentioned of Southwest Airlines, one of the stories I came across as I was preparing this presentation was the story of a long flight plane that had to do a stopover, and the passengers were not allowed to disembark from the plane. And there was a mother with a child who was hungry and cranky, and so she went to the air hostess and asked if she could be granted permission to leave the flight to get food for her child. Because of flight rules, of course, the air hostess said, "No, you cannot get off the flight, madam. However, I will go get for you what you need. What do you need?" And this air hostess not only got food for this one child, but for 3 other children as well. Southwest Airlines is known to go beyond the call of duty, beyond their roles and obligations to serve their customers. And because of that, as a company, they enjoy a lot of loyalty from their customers. So how am I putting followers first as a leader? Behavior number 5, helping followers succeed. Helping followers succeed. Now, to help followers succeed means you must be aware about their professional goals, their personal goals. You know what concerns them, you know what they're interested in, and you provide opportunity or avenues for that to be achieved. Are you helping your followers to succeed? Behavior number 6, empowering others. Now, empowering comes from 2 words, M and then power. Empowering is not just giving information, it's giving opportunity for power and control, sharing power and control. What does that do to your followers? It gives them a lot of confidence. But in order to empower means you must be willing to step back. You must be willing to add a seat on the table and say, "I would like to hear your opinion. You have the freedom, go ahead, do what I have asked you to do, or do what you have proposed to do." As you share power and control, it doesn't minimize your power, not at all. Collectively, your power as a group, your influence as a group increases. So how are you empowering others? How are you giving them freedom to make decisions and choices and to follow through, and adding your support in there while at it? Lastly, behavior number 7 of servant leadership is creating value for the community. Now, YFC is a service organization. We are concerned about young people, and we are where young people are. We desire them to go to heaven for sure. We want their names in the book of life, and we want and desire eternity with God for them. However, they have physical needs. What can YFC do? What can your chapter do? What can your country do to meet the needs of the community around you? This could be things as simple as a community cleanup, as simple as mobilizing books or shoes or pens for the students in the school you reach. It might be providing after-school clubs because the children need somewhere safe to play or somewhere safe to do their homework. What value are you adding to the community where you are as a YFC nation? So we've talked about 7 behaviors of servant leadership. So what do we do with this information? 2 things I will propose. Number 1, rate yourself on the 7. Out of 10, how would you rate yourself in each of those 7 areas? However, beyond yourself, invite 2 people to rate you. It could be your friends, it could be your co-leaders, it could be your supervisors. Invite 2 people to rate you. With the responses that you get is what you will use to create an action plan. If you're to look ahead for the next 6 months, if you're to look ahead for the next 1 year, how different would you be as a leader if you chose to practice the servant leadership behaviors? If emotional healing is one of your weakest links, what will you do to hold space so that people can approach you? What are some of the practices that you will engage in to make sure that those who come to you can find help, can find confidence, can feel supported and empowered? That's just one example. So for each of those areas, I want to propose identify 1 area a month and work on it. Month number 2, you build on what you did month 1 plus 1 new servant leadership behavior. It is my prayer that as we do so, indeed, YFC will make more impact in Africa, more impact in your nation, and you will grow as a result of servant leadership. Thank you very much.